Good morning, YouTube family. This is Take 5 with Nanette, and we're here to spend a few moments looking at a nugget of information that has the potential to help you and all of us change our perspective and learn to think for a change. Today, I woke up thinking about something, and I decided that that's what I was going to talk about today, and it is learning to talk back to yourself. You know, when I was a child, one of the things that I would struggle with was I felt like I needed to speak my mind. And I was always standing up for something. It's interesting because I have a daughter who does the same thing, who stands up for a lot of different causes. And one of the things that occurred to me this morning was I have become very good at shifting that whole talking back to talking back to myself. I think it's one of the biggest skills that is important for us to learn. And that is because if you can't tell yourself, no, you know what, you might want to do that, but you're not going to do that. Or this is what you said you were going to do, and so you are going to do it, Nanette. If you can't learn to do that with yourself, then you're going to have trouble reaching the goals that you set for yourself. Why? For a lot of different reasons. For the reason that we talked about, the porcupine principle, for the figure eight, all the choices that we make during the day, and for the fact that learning to talk back to yourself is an essential part of self-control. There are times when I have a thought run through my head and or presented to me. Let me put it that way, because of I believe that just like the Lord speaks a word, the Holy Spirit speaks a word into the atmosphere, and it's for him who has ears to hear. We've talked about this before. I believe the enemy speaks a ton of stuff into the atmosphere. Why? Because we're talking about the spirit realm here. So he speaks something into the atmosphere, and you have the opportunity to grab a hold of it or not. So the other day, something happened, and immediately I heard, they don't really care. They don't really care about you or the situation. And I recognized that that was the enemy putting something into the atmosphere. It's like dangling a carrot in front of you and seeing if you'll grab a hold of it. Because if you'll grab a hold of it, there is a path that he wants to take you down. But he's got to get you to grab a hold of that, what we called stinking thinking. And so we've got to learn to talk back to ourselves. There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. There is nothing wrong with telling yourself what you are going to do and aren't going to do. Because if you don't learn to do it, it's going to rule you. Nobody wants to live life on default. Because if you live your life on default and just going with every whim or making decisions based on your emotions, I promise you it's going to take you places you don't want to go. Why do I know that? I've already been there. You can be a Christian. You can be a Christian. You can have given your life over to the Lord, and your flesh can still be ruling over you. Today, think about that. You have the very Spirit of God available to you. But you have to let him rule in your life. You've got to give him the authority to rule. And how do we do that? We do that by listening to what he's saying and bringing our life into alignment with what he's saying. I've realized that doesn't happen without telling myself no. That doesn't happen without me putting boundaries around myself and saying, no, you're not going to believe that. Or no, I'm not grabbing a hold of that as the truth in this situation. So I want to challenge you today to learn to talk back to yourself. And don't see that as a rebellious thing, but see that as a taking control thing. Have a great day and be blessed.